Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Child Learning. In this edition, I will be talking about a topic called Understanding the Psychology of a Child. Some years ago, many years ago actually, I was privileged to teach an 8-year-old boy who, for the purpose of this discussion, I will refer to as Adamu. Adamu was a strange boy because every time I was teaching Adamu and his classmates, Adamu preferred to play while his classmates focused on their learning task. That got me worried. In fact, it got me frustrated. I couldn't understand why an 8-year-old child would prefer to play while his classmates focused on their learning. Sometimes you would see him poking someone else with his pencil. Sometimes you will see him going under the table, and so on and so forth. So I decided that I was going to report Adamu to his daddy. My expectation was that his daddy was going to deal with him. But to my surprise, when I reported Adamu to his dad laughed and told me that he himself was like Adamu while he was a child. I was like, I was disappointed because I was expecting the man to get angry with Adamu and to deal with Adamu. But this is the interesting part of this story. I learned a lesson. That experience for me was a watershed. I discovered that children grow in stages. What do I mean by that? Children grow in developmental stages. It is possible to have 2 or more children of the same age who are at different developmental stages. So what that means is that Adamu, although 8 years old, was not at the same developmental stage as the rest of his classmates. And that got me thinking, how can I reach Adamu? I began to factor out ways through which I could help Adamu, because whether I liked it or not, he was my responsibility, and his parents obviously would expect me to ensure that Adamu was learning like the other children. I decided to use more activities that had play in them, more practical activities. For instance, one of the topics we were looking at that time was volcanoes. So we wanted to study volcanoes and how they erupted. Okay? How, things, the hot viscous liquid in volcanoes erupted. And I decided that I was going to assign Adamu to that project. It was very amazing. It was super amazing. That project took about 2 days or so. I noticed Adamu's interest in the project. He was so preoccupied with this project that he gave all his attention to it. That's not all. By the time they were done constructing the volcano, they also presented to the rest of the class what they had done. So essentially, I saw a different Adamu. The way he analyzed their work, the way he shared what they did in building the volcano, the way he explained the process of the volcanic eruption was simply amazing. And this is, in essence, the summary of child psychology. Psychologists define child psychology as the changes that take place as a child passes through various developmental stages. If you like, you can refer to these changes as processes. And like I said earlier on, even when children are of the same age, they may not always be at the same developmental stage. So it means that teachers need to pay attention to child psychology. A lot of work has been done on child psychology. I'm sure we all know about Jean Piaget, who talked about the 4 different stages of child development. In a subsequent bulletin, I will be talking about some of the works of Jean Piaget with us, and I will relate these to teaching and learning in the classroom. But for now, I would like to advise teachers to go and study child psychology. Just read it up. You can Google child psychology on the internet and then go through the write-up, because I believe that will help you to develop greater patience when you work with children. One mistake that so many teachers make is that they expect children to think like adults. It's not going to be possible, and eventually it will frustrate those teachers. We must understand that children grow in stages, and we must learn to treat children based on their developmental stage. This is where I wrap it up on this edition of Child Learning. And until I come your way again in a subsequent broadcast, stay safe.